So we are diving back into the Energon universe. This is Transformers issue 2. And this one, like the first issue was okay. There's a lot of action, but this one was fun because we see the madness of the Decepticons. So in the last issue, everyone is woken up on the Ark and major war happens. Lots of deaths to major characters, which is kind of why I put issue 2 on the back burner, because one of them really irked my Gurk and frosted me and drove me up the wall. So I had to kind of mourn that a little bit, and now we're here. And I love the way that they just kind of introduce Optimus Prime. But before we dive into that, let's talk about who's made this book. This is Daniel Warren Johnson doing the writing and the art, Mike Spencer doing the colors, Russ Wooten doing the lettering. There's everyone else working on the book. So Optimus Prime comes out to look at his new home, the world. What beauty. It's unbelievable. Crunch. Now, you would think immediately, well, not immediately, but you kind of think, oh God, how are they going to, what's that word called? It's the thing with the subvert our expectations. That's the word I was looking for. Now, spoilers if you have not read issue 2. So pause, go get the book, come back, and you're back. So we see how Optimus Prime is just taking in the beauty, and then we hear that violent crunch, and I love the color change, because, again, remember, paneling and color and ink choices also are a character in the book. It's not just the storytelling. Everything has to tell the story. So we see him step on a deer. He goes, oh no, I'm so sorry. And to me, the way that I interpret it, let me know how this interpreted to you guys. But think about a toddler, and this kind of the analogy I use because I have a toddler. When they accidentally hurt something, it's a teaching moment, not a, oh my God, why'd you do it? It's a teaching moment. And yes, Optimus is, you can consider an adult, but he's new to this world. And it takes a human to teach someone that's kind of a toddler to our world. We hear, it's okay. It was an accident. I saw the whole thing. No, this. I had no idea your home is so fragile. I suppose so. I never really thought about it that way. Everything is relative, I guess. And this is the new Spike, Wiki. He goes, where I'm from, everything is metal. The ground doesn't sway when I walk. I don't leave marks or my feet tread. I should have known better. And this is sort of, again, this is him learning his new adopted world. And essentially to know that he essentially tells Spike, I need to be more careful and be very mindful of this new world. And so he explains Cybertron to him, which is a very nice panel. Here we get that old school look of Cybertron here. And he explains about the Decepticons, saying that we used to be a world of peace. Our species was consumed by greed and power. Maybe it was always there, hiding since the birth of Cybertron. But to me, it seemed to raise its ugly head from nowhere, led by an extremist faction on our planet, the Decepticons. He's like, the red and gray one, the plane, Starscream is one of many we've been fighting for centuries. And I just love how here it just says, among others. That's a good way to kind of introduce Megatron. Because remember, he's only mentioned once in the first issue. At this point, I know there's been more books since. I know I'm behind. So if you guys want to know what happened to Megatron, go read Cobra Commander #1. But I just kind of like how he's sort of this ominous figure. And then we see a fight ensue. And one thing I will say, when it comes to indie art, sometimes these type of style choices bug me. But here, I love it because it gives you that pulp, gritty feeling of how, the Autobots and the Decepticons are not clean. They're torn apart. And then even Optimus kind of says, when they're talking, he goes, I don't know what family is. Because they're talking about the death of this particular character, I don't want to spoil if you haven't read issue 1. It's in there. Go check it out. And I know a lot of you might be like, it's already been out for a while. Nonetheless, I don't want to spoil it, but it hurts. And it finally makes Optimus Prime understand what family is. And it brings us back to Optimus accidentally crushing this deer, which he's still traumatically cradling in his arms. And then here comes Cliff Jumper, and everything kind of starts to pick back up. I like how Spike runs up to him and he goes, "Bleh! Optimus, what is that thing?" "Have no fear, Cliff Jumper. This is Spike. He's a human. They live here on this planet." We're not there yet, my man." "Yeesh. You're like a turbo rat. Creepy little..." "Oh, please." And, I think... I forget her name. Kaylee. I can't remember. Hold on. Carly. There it is. And I just love how Cliff Jumper just awkwardly shakes hands. So anyway, after all that, I don't want to give too much away of the plot here, but the Decepticons are spotted. And of course, just like in the original cartoons and the G1 comics and all that stuff, they're looking for Energon. Power plant that was initially attacked in the first issue. And then all of a sudden, and I can't remember if this is Blitzwing or Thundercracker. The coloring is Thundercracker, but he goes, "Watch out, weaklings." And unlike the old comics and, of course, the cartoon, because they couldn't do so much with the cartoon, but I just love how they show the greed and the madness and the sadisticness of the Decepticons here. And especially Starscream. There's a jet that's coming in. It's the U.S. military. And Starscream just goes right after him. Another thing that I like about this comic compared to all the other versions we've seen is I love how we see mid-transformation like that, how they just seem to kind of fall apart. And then... And of course the love. The homage, kind of like manga action lines going on here with the... Great use of onomatopoeia there. And now... I don't know if they use that from... Because I know in modern days you can buy packages online for like Illustrator and stuff. But I miss when you'd actually have to hand do those like the old 60s, 70s, 80s, 50s. You know what I'm saying? Back in those days. So I don't know if that was hand done. But nonetheless, I like how it just makes it look like it's part of the screeching speed of the jet. Now, again, spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, don't go too far into this. But we see these two fighter pilots really trying to take this guy down. And Starscream just slaps it. This is fun. And so they have to eject. Oh, the other guy did not make it. Oh, God, just what a way to go. Now, again, spoilers. But the guy that ejects from the jet, I'm not going to go too much into it. Just look at his name tag and you'll get an idea. Starscream sees him escape. This character is able to shoot something in his face, and he goes, "Whatever, stupid humans. Y'all be dead eventually." So we kind of see how the writing team is working the Energon universe together there. And now again, Spike's dad was part of that power plant. And so they all have to kind of get, lead to the fight, which is what kind of starts leading into issue 3. We see Spike saying, "I'm coming with you, Optimus." And again, I just love how that... And I love the relationship between Spike and Carly. They very much care about each other. They don't mind putting themselves in harm's way to protect each other. And I believe this is the first appearance of Laserbeak in this universe. And yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but this is Spike's dad. Carly's going to her home, and we find something that's really heartbreaking that launches the next plot point for issue 3. A lot of action, a lot of surprisingly heartfelt moments. This was an excellent read. I actually enjoyed this one a lot more than issue 2, because we finally start to see all the characters starting to get fleshed out and how the Energonverse is starting to come together. So if you are a Transformers fan, other than the, and I'm just going to say this and then I'm going to try to let it go. Minus the bullshit that happened in issue 1 when they killed off that particular character. That was... Again, I'm just going to say it irked my girk, and we're going to leave it at that. Letting that slide. I like the direction this book's going. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever it is like to get your action figures and comics and grab this series. And if you've enjoyed this review, really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you mind hitting that fancy little Energon bell next subscribe, that way as I get to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.